I was reading this morning that humans make about 35,000 decisions every single day.
Wow, that's quite a lot, isn't it? I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
And so many of those happen in just one place. You're looking at all these labels, comparing this and that.
It's true, and it can be so easy to get a bit overwhelmed. But today, we want to help you feel more confident in those exact moments.
Welcome back to the Daily Seed English podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sophia. We're so glad you're joining us today.
That's right. Every time you listen to us, you're planting a tiny seed in your English garden. And with a little bit of care, you'll see it grow into something big.
Exactly, Alex. And today's seed is all about navigating that common, but sometimes crazy environment, the supermarket.
I definitely need some growth in that area. Sometimes I just wander around for an hour.
Well, the first step to a successful shopping trip is actually knowing how to find what you need without getting lost in those endless rows of shelves. I mean, we've all been there, right? Standing in the middle of a huge store, feeling like you're in a maze.
Oh, absolutely. I usually start with a lot of energy, but by the time I'm looking for the third item on my list, I'm just walking in circles. It's like the store is designed to make me forget where everything is.
Many supermarkets actually are designed that way. They want you to walk past as many products as possible. But that's why asking for help is such a valuable skill. It saves you so much time and energy.
But Sophia, I often feel a bit, well, self-conscious. I don't want to bother the staff if they look busy. Is there a polite way to approach them?
That's a great question. You should never feel like you're bothering them. It's their job to help. The most natural way to start is just by saying, "Excuse me." It's short, polite, and it works every time.
Excuse me. Simple enough. And then I just ask for the section I need?
Exactly. For instance, if you're looking for milk, cheese, or yogurt, you could say, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the dairy section is?"
Dairy section. I like that. It sounds much more professional than just saying the milk place.
It does, and dairy is a word you'll see on signs a lot too. Now, what if you're looking for something fresh, like carrots or lettuce?
Oh, I know this one. I could say, where can I find fresh vegetables?
Perfect. And sometimes you're looking for a specific type of product, like if you prefer things grown without chemicals. You might ask, "Do you have any organic milk?"
Organic milk. Right. I've noticed more and more people are looking for that these days. It usually has its own little corner in the dairy section, doesn't it?
Often, yes, but sometimes it's mixed in with the regular milk, so it's always good to ask. Now, imagine you're in an aisle and you think the bread should be there, but you can't see the specific kind you want.
Hmm, maybe I'm looking for something healthy, like I'm looking for whole wheat bread. Is it in this aisle?
That's a great way to phrase it. You're acknowledging that you're already looking in the right general area, but you just need a bit of help spotting the exact item. Whole wheat bread is a very common request.
And what about the things that are really cold? The ice cream or the frozen peas?
Ah, those would be in the frozen section. You could say, "Could you point me toward the frozen foods?"
Frozen foods. That's easy to remember. I usually head there last so my ice cream doesn't melt while I'm looking for other things.
Very smart, Alex. Now, here's a phrase that's becoming very important for many shoppers. What if you have a special diet?
Oh, like for people who can't eat bread or pasta?
Exactly. Those people are looking for gluten-free products. So you might ask, is there a gluten-free section in this supermarket?
Oh, right. Gluten-free. I've seen that label on a lot of things lately. Does every supermarket have a special section for that?
Most big ones do now. Sometimes it's a separate aisle, and sometimes it's just a part of the health food section. It really depends on the store.
That's good to know. Now, what about things that aren't fresh? The beans and soups that come in metal containers.
Those are called canned goods. So you could ask, where are the canned goods kept?
Canned goods. Okay. I always thought they were just tins, but canned goods sounds better when I'm talking to a shop assistant.
In the US, they say cans, and in the UK, they say tins, but canned goods is understood everywhere. It's a very safe, clear term to use.
What if I'm looking for something to make my cooking taste better, like some green leaves?
Oh, you mean herbs. If you want to make a nice pasta sauce, for example, you might ask, do you sell fresh herbs like basil and coriander?
Fresh herbs, basil and coriander. I love the smell of fresh basil. It makes the whole kitchen smell amazing.
It really does. And don't forget the oils. Sometimes they are tucked away in a corner. You might say, excuse me, I can't find the olive oil. Which aisle is it on?
Which aisle is it on? This is a great question because it gives you a specific number to look for. Aisle 4, aisle 7, it makes it so much easier.
Exactly. And remember, sometimes stores have multiple levels, so you might need to check which floor you're on.
Oh, like for the fresh bread?
Precisely. You could ask, is the bakery section on the ground floor?
Ground floor. Right. Sometimes it's in the basement or even upstairs in those really big city supermarkets.
That's right. It's always better to ask than to spend 10 minutes on the wrong floor. So, Alex, how are you feeling about these phrases? Do they feel like things you could actually use?
Definitely. They feel very natural. I think I just need to remember to stay calm and use that excuse me at the beginning. It makes a big difference.
It really does. And once you find what you need, the next step is often choosing between two things. But maybe we should dive into that in a little bit.
Oh, I'd love to. I always struggle when I'm looking at two different types of yogurt and I have no idea which one is actually better for me.
Well, then you're in luck, because we're going to talk all about quality and comparing products next. It's one of my favorite topics.
I'm ready. Just let me take a quick breath and imagine I'm standing in that dairy section right now.
Good. Now that you've found the right aisle, you're often faced with a shelf of different brands. This is where things get interesting. I mean, compare shopping is practically an art form, isn't it?
Totally. Sometimes there are like 10 different types of the same thing. I mean, you're just looking at a stack of yogurts and you're like, what actually makes them different?
Well, that's where the questions come in. You could actually ask a staff member if they're nearby, what's the difference between these two brands of yogurt?
What's the difference between these two brands? That's a good one. Usually one might be thicker or have more fruit, or maybe one is just the store brand.
Exactly. And speaking of milk products, have you ever noticed the labels on the milk cartons? Some say pasteurized and some say UHT.
Oh, I have, but I never really knew what it meant. So I could ask, is this milk pasteurized or UHT?
That's right. Pasteurized milk usually needs to be kept in the fridge and lasts a week or so, while UHT, which stands for ultra high temperature, can often stay on a regular shelf for months until you open it.
Oh, wow, months? I think I'd rather have the fresh pasteurized one, but I guess UHT is good to have in the cupboard for emergencies.
It definitely is. Now, let's talk about the fruit section again. Sometimes I'm looking at the apples and I'm wondering if they've traveled halfway around the world to get to me.
Yeah, I'd rather buy something more local if I can. So I should ask, are these apples imported or locally grown?
Precisely. Locally grown means they're fresher and better for the environment. Imported means they've come from another country.
That makes sense. And what about when I'm not in the food aisles, like when I'm looking for something to wash my clothes?
Ah, the cleaning aisle. That can be very overwhelming with all the different scents and chemicals. If your skin gets itchy easily, you might ask, which detergent is better for sensitive skin?
Sensitive skin. That's a very useful phrase. I have a friend who really needs to be careful with that.
It's a very common concern. Now, back to the food. Have you ever looked at the back of a juice bottle and been shocked by the numbers?
Oh, all the time. Sometimes it seems like more sugar than fruit. I should probably check, does this juice contain added sugar?
That's a very smart thing to ask. Added sugar is exactly what it sounds like. Extra sugar they put in to make it taste sweeter, whereas some juices just have the natural sweetness from the fruit.
Right. Natural is always better. And speaking of how long things last, how do I ask about that specifically?
You're looking for the shelf life. You can ask, how long is the shelf life of this product?
Shelf life. So that's basically how long it's safe to keep it in my house before it goes bad.
Exactly. Every product has an expiry date or a best before date, and the time between now and that date is its shelf life.
Okay, that's clear. Now, what if I'm shopping for a friend who doesn't eat meat?
Then you'll want to check if things like cheese have certain ingredients. You can ask, is this cheese suitable for vegetarians?
Suitable for vegetarians. That's a good, polite way to phrase it.
It really is. And for those who are really watching their health, especially their blood sugar, there's a phrase about rice.
Oh, I've heard about this. It's something about how fast the sugar goes into your blood.
That's right. It's called the glycemic index. So you might ask, which rice has the lowest glycemic index?
Glycemic index. That sounds a bit scientific, but I guess in a big supermarket, the staff would know what that means.
Many of them would, especially in the health food section. And finally, let's talk about something we all buy, eggs.
Oh, I've seen so many labels on egg cartons. Free range, organic, cage free. It's a lot.
It is. If you care about how the chickens are treated, you might ask, are these eggs free range or cage free?
Free range or cage free. What's the difference, Sophia?
Well, free range means the chickens spend some of their time outside, and cage free means they're not in tiny cages, but they might still stay inside a big barn. It's always good to know where your food is coming from.
I agree. It feels good to make an informed choice. I feel like I'm becoming a much more conscious shopper already.
You are, Alex, and being a conscious shopper also means being a smart shopper when it comes to your wallet.
Ah, yes, the part where I can save some money. I'm definitely interested in that.
Well, then let's keep moving through the store and see if we can find some good deals.
Ah, yes, the part where I can save some money. I'm definitely interested in that.
I thought you might be. Who doesn't love a good deal? But sometimes those little yellow price tags can be a bit confusing. I mean, they're designed to look exciting, but you have to read them carefully.
They really can be confusing, especially when there are two different prices on the tag, one big and one small. I usually just look at the big one, but I have a feeling I should be looking at the other one too.
You got it. That small price is often the unit price. For example, if you're buying a big bag of rice, you might want to know how much does this cost per kilo?
Per kilo. Right, because sometimes a smaller bag is actually more expensive if you look at the price per kilo. It's like a little math puzzle every time I go to the store.
It really is, but it's the best way to see if you're actually getting a good deal. And speaking of deals, what about those multi-buys? You know, when they want you to buy more than one?
Oh, I see those all the time. Sometimes I only need one, but the price looks so much better if I take two. I might ask the staff, is there a discount if I buy two?
That's a very common situation. Sometimes it's a 2 for $5 deal or something like that, but you have to be careful. If you won't eat it before it goes bad, it's not actually a saving.
That is a very good point. I've definitely thrown away things because I bought too many. So, what about when there's a big promotion sign?
If the tag is a bit unclear, you should definitely check the final price. You could ask, "What's the price of this after the promotion?"
After the promotion. That's smart. Sometimes the discount is only applied at the checkout, and it's good to know the exact number before you get there.
Exactly. And then there's everyone's favorite deal, the BGO.
BGO. Wait, what does that even mean?
It stands for buy one, get one free, usually followed by free or half price. You might ask, do you have any buy one, get one free offers today?
Buy one, get one free. Oh, I love those, especially for things that don't go bad quickly, like pasta or canned goods.
Me too. And if you're looking for a general bargain, you can just ask, is this item on sale this week?
On sale. Does that mean it's always cheaper or just for a short time?
Usually, it's just for a week or a few days. That's why markets have weekly specials. They change all the time to keep people coming back.
Right. And what about those little pieces of paper I get in the mail sometimes? The ones with the discounts on them?
Those are coupons. They can save you a lot of money, but not every store accepts every coupon, so it's always good to ask, can I use this coupon here?
Can I use this coupon here? Good to know. And while we're talking about money, if I'm getting close to my budget, I might want to start totaling things up before I reach the register.
That's a very responsible way to shop, Alex. You could even ask at a service desk if you have a few items, how much is the total for these items?
How much is the total for these items? That's helpful. And then when it's time to pay, I need to know my options.
Yes, most places are very flexible now, but it's always safe to ask, do you accept credit cards or only cash?
Credit cards or only cash. I rarely carry cash these days, so this is a big one for me.
Me here. And if you're a regular shopper, there's one more thing that can really help your wallet in the long run.
Let me guess. Is it one of those plastic cards that gives you points?
Bingo, a loyalty card. You should ask, is there a loyalty card I can sign up for?
Loyalty card. I have so many of those on my phone now. They really do add up after a while.
They certainly do. But Alex, here's a situation that can be a bit awkward. What if you saw one price on the shelf, but when it's scanned, it shows a higher price?
Oh, I hate that. It feels like I'm being overcharged. What should I say without sounding like I'm complaining too much?
Don't worry, it's a very common mistake. You can just say, the price on the shelf is different from the scanner. Could you check?
The price on the shelf is different from the scanner. That sounds very polite. It's like I'm just asking for a simple check, not accusing them of anything.
Exactly. It happens all the time. Maybe someone forgot to update the price tag. The staff will usually be happy to fix it for you.
That makes me feel much better. I think I'm ready to head to the checkout now. I've got my deals, I've got my organic milk, and I've got my loyalty card ready.
You're a pro, Alex, but getting through the checkout isn't just about the money. There's a few more things you might need to handle before you can walk out those doors.
Oh, what else could there be? I thought the hard part was over.
Well, the checkout is where most of the interaction happens, so let's talk about that next.
Oh, what else could there be? I thought the hard part was over. I have my items, I found the deals, now I just pay and leave, right?
In theory, yes, but the checkout is where you actually have a real conversation with another human. It's the perfect place to practice your English, even if it's just for a minute or two.
Okay, so I'm standing in the line, I've put everything on the belt, the person in front of me is finishing up. What's the first thing I should do?
Well, a simple hello or how's it going is always a nice way to start. It sets a positive tone for the whole interaction. And then the cashier will start scanning your items. This is when they usually ask if you need a bag.
I always try to bring my own, but sometimes I forget them in the car. What should I say then?
If you need one, you can ask, do you have any reusable bags for sale?
Reusable bags for sale. Right. Most places don't give away plastic ones for free anymore, which is actually great for the planet, but it does mean I need to remember to ask.
It does. And once you have your bags, the packing starts. Now, if you have some fragile things like eggs or maybe some delicate pastries, you might want to be careful.
Oh, I definitely don't want my bread to get squished by a carton of milk. Can I ask them to keep things apart?
Of course, you can say, could you pack these separately?
Pack these separately. That's very useful. I usually try to do it myself, but sometimes the cashier is really fast.
They can be. And if you have some really heavy things, like those big bags of rice or several bottles of water, don't be afraid to ask for a little help if you need it.
Is that okay? I don't want to be a bother.
It's perfectly fine. You can say, would you mind helping me put the heavy items in the bag?
Would you mind helping me? That sounds very polite. I think most people would be happy to help if you ask like that.
They usually are. Now, let's talk about the actual payment. We mentioned credit cards earlier, but when you're standing there and they give you the total, how do you say it clearly?
I'd say, I'd like to pay by card, please.
Perfect. Pay by card is the standard phrase. You might also hear contactless or tap, but by card covers everything.
And then I just wait for the machine to beep?
Yes, and once the payment goes through, the cashier will usually offer you a small piece of paper.
The receipt. I always take it just in case there's a problem later.
Very wise. If they don't offer it automatically, you can ask, can I have the receipt, please?
Can I have the receipt? Got it. It's so important for keeping track of your budget, too.
It absolutely is. Now, here's a phrase that's a bit more traditional, especially if you are using cash and there's just a tiny bit of money left over.
Oh, like if I'm at a small local shop.
Exactly. If you have a few cents coming back and you don't want to carry them around, you can say, thank you, keep the change.
Thank you. Keep the change. That's a very friendly thing to say.
It is. It's a small gesture, but it's always appreciated. And then, finally, as you're picking up your bags and heading toward the exit,
That's my favorite part. I can't wait to get home and cook something with all these fresh herbs.
don't forget the final polite word. A simple "have a nice day" goes a long way.
Have a nice day. I always say that. It feels good to leave on a positive note.
It really does. But Alex, we've talked about a perfect shopping trip so far. What happens if something goes, well, not so perfectly?
Oh no. You mean like when I realize I've bought the wrong thing or there's a mistake on my bill?
Exactly. Or maybe you forgot a step while you were in the aisles. These things happen to everyone, and knowing the right English phrases can turn a stressful moment into a simple fix.
You're right. I'd much rather know what to say than stand there looking confused.
Well then, let's talk about Plan B, how to handle those little supermarket surprises.
I'm ready. Let's tackle those issues before I finally head out into the parking lot.
That's the spirit. Now, imagine you're about to pay, but you realize you missed something very important.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The fruit. Sometimes I get so excited about the apples and oranges that I forget to put them on the scale.
Right. In many supermarkets, you have to weigh your produce in the aisle before you get to the checkout. If you forget, you don't have a barcode for the cashier to scan.
And finding that out at the front of the line is so embarrassing. What should I say?
Just be honest and polite. You can say, sorry, I forgot to weigh the fruits. Can you do it now?
I forgot to weigh the fruits. Can you do it now? Most of the time they have a scale right behind the counter, right?
Exactly. It only takes a second. And what if you're looking at your items as they go past and you suddenly notice that the milk or the yogurt looks a bit, well, old?
You mean like if it's past its best before date?
Precisely. You should definitely point it out. You can say, "Sorry, I think this item is expired. Can I exchange it?"
Can I exchange it? That's good. I don't want to pay for something I can't eat.
You shouldn't have to. The staff will usually be happy to grab you a fresh one. Now, here's one more situation. You've paid, you've got your receipt, but something just doesn't look right.
Like if the total is way higher than I expected?
Yes, maybe you were charged twice for something, or that discount we talked about earlier didn't show up. You should say, "Could you double check the total? I think there's a mistake."
Could you double check the total? It's such a simple way to ask for a review without being rude. I think I've been a bit too shy to do that in the past, but I'm going to try it next time.
You should, Alex. You work hard for your money, and it's okay to make sure everything is correct. Now, before we wrap up our supermarket journey, let's reflect a little. We've covered so much ground today.
We really have. From asking for the dairy section at the start to checking the shelf life and finding those BOGO deals, it's been quite a workout for my brain.
And for your English. But that's how we grow. Every time you use one of these phrases, you're making your English garden a little bit stronger.
What was your favorite part of today's visit, Sophia?
I think it was when we talked about the locally grown food. I really think it's so important to know where our food comes from. What about you?
For me, it was definitely the checkout. It felt so good to finally know what to say to the cashier. I'm actually looking forward to my next shopping trip now.
That is fantastic to hear. And before we go, we have a little question for all our listeners out there.
That's right. We want to hear from you. What's the one thing you always forget to buy when you go to the supermarket? Is it the milk, the eggs, or maybe something unusual?
Let us know in the comments or wherever you're listening. We love hearing about your daily adventures.
I already know my answer. It's always the olive oil. I remember the herbs, the pasta, but the oil? Never.
Well, next time you'll know exactly which aisle to ask for.
That's the spirit. You know, Sophia, before we leave our listeners today, I feel like I need one final check to see if I've really got it all. It's been so much information.
That's a wonderful idea, Alex. Practice makes perfect. Or, as we like to say, it helps the seed grow strong. How about a little quick-fire challenge?
Born ready, Sophia. Let's do this. I'm standing in the middle of our imaginary grocery store, ready for anything.
Okay, scenario number 1. You've just walked in. You have a very specific health goal, and you're looking for things that are better for your digestion. What do you ask first?
Healthy digestion. Oh, I'd look for the special food section. I'd say, is there a gluten-free section in this supermarket?
Top marks. And what if you're looking at some snack bars in that section and you want to be sure they aren't full of hidden sweeteners?
I'd definitely check the labels, but if they were confusing, I'd ask, does this item contain added sugar?
Perfect. Now, scenario number 2, you're in the produce section. You see 2 different types of yogurt. One is a brand you know, and the other is a bit cheaper. What do you ask a staff member who's passing by?
I'd want to know why one is cheaper than the other. I might ask, what's the difference between these 2 brands of yogurt? Or maybe, how long is the shelf life of this product, to see if the cheap one is just about to expire?
Both are excellent. You're really starting to think like a pro shopper. Now, for the final one, scenario number 3, you're at the checkout. You've scanned everything, you've used your loyalty card, but then, oh no, you realize the carton of eggs on the belt has a little crack in it.
Oh, I know this one. I'd immediately say, sorry, I think this item is damaged or maybe it's expired. Can I exchange it?
Can I exchange it? Spot on, Alex. You've handled every situation like a native speaker.
It feels so good to have these tools in my pocket. It's like I have a map for the whole store now.
You really do. And remember, it's okay if you don't remember everything the first time. The most important thing is to just keep trying. Every word you say is progress.
I'm definitely going to keep practicing. Maybe I'll even go to the store later today just to try out these phrases.
Just don't forget the olive oil this time, Alex.
I promise, Sophia. I promise. It's been such a fun trip today. I feel like I've learned so much more than just words.
I agree. It's about the confidence to interact with the world around you, and that's what we are here for.
Absolutely. I can't wait for our next adventure. But for now, I think I have a lot of groceries to put away.
Well, enjoy your kitchen time, Alex. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us.